Today on the channel, we're going to find out if we got the definition of constant learning, constant improvement with the big rubber guys, Demolition, Take 2.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Big Rubber Guys unboxing and review. And today on the channel we got Demolition, Take 2 with Axe, Smash, and Brian Adams. But for all your Collect Major Big Rubber Guy needs, better head over to collectmajor.com. Check it out. That's where you get your big rubber guys. Got a few other places you can get them, but that is the home location. And like a lot of these sets, they are timed editions. So this was up for a while, a month, I think it was what it was. What is time once again? You had a month to get your order in. The order was the order. Now you're stuck to the aftermarket, Facebook groups, eBay, etc. if you want these three figures. And you know we're going to do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. And we got a lot of comparisons to do later on in this video of other big rubber guy style versions of Demolition, including Take 1 from Collect Major. A couple of years ago at this point, what is time? And man, oh man, if you're a Demolition fan, you're eating good in the neighborhood like a young Applebee's this month of December 2025. As just recently on the channel, I feel like every other day I have a new Demolition figure to unbox. Mattel Elite shipping out right now from Ringside Collectibles. That'll be next up in our Demolition December haul. I unboxed the Matte Maniac Retros, the Ringside Collectible exclusive version of Demolition. Can't forget the Latuni Demolition. It has just been Demolition overload as we've went so many years without Demolition figures to now getting one at just every single turn. It really is a wild time, but I'm here for it all day long and, dare I say, twice on Sunday. And we're also going to do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. And these are the first series from, I believe, the new factory making these figures. So we're going to see if we have any noticeable changes between these figures with the new factory. All that and the comparisons, like I said, later on in this video. So enough jibber jabber. Let's get down to it. Let's start with Axe right here. We're going to knock out Axe first. Now, first thing I noticed from the new factory, we didn't get the brown shipper protective box there. They were just each individually bubble wrapped, I guess is what we'll call it. That's the protection we had on there. Unfortunately, with that, it has returned to the old days of the cracked plastic. The inner tray cracked on all of these here. So that is unfortunate, especially for people like me. We save our packaging to put them back if we want to, but we do have cracked packaging. As usual, your mileage may vary, but mine did come cracked. So make note of that, I guess. But here's old Axe there, looking cool. Very glad we got new molds and new positions where the old version of Demolition weren't terrible, but when you compare them to these, at least in pictures so far, these are heads and tails better than the last edition. And like I said, we'll compare them later on in this video. But there's old Axe looking good down here, looking like an axe as we know. Axe, Major Bendy's big rubber guys. Got him in the package, big bubble window, perfect for autographs if that is your thing. Collect Major, not a toy, ages 18 and up. What is this? If it's not a toy, what is it? A statue? I guess. Looking good here. Nothing on the sides, really. Then on the back, oh my gosh, War and Peace. It's amazing, this checklist back here. So many big rubber guys, so little time. That's what we're going to say. But tray seems to be the same with the new factory. They're going the same model here, slipcase, removability. We're here for that. Everything going to fall out of the package. There we go. There we go. And like I said, I do save my packaging, so it is disappointing when you get the cracked plastic, as we know. But off to the side, a gentle see you later, goodbye. And let's dive into Axe right here. Feeling better already. Going to start off with the helmets here. The helmets looking pretty good. Straight up Demolition helmets. I'm not going to describe all three of them. They're all going to be the same, but looking very good. Looking like Mad Max, as we know. Love that. Looking really good. You got to have that with Demolition. And we've got Demolition figures without these. The Latuni ones, for instance. I guess they're probably paying homage, Todd McFarlane. They're paying homage to the LJN days once upon a time that didn't come with a mask either. So is what it is. I say if you're making Demolition, come with the mask is what I'm going to say. But diving into Axe right here, I would know who this is. You hand me this, I know this is Axe all day long. I know the difference between Axe and Smash and Bryan Adams. Oh, of course. It was the summer of '69 once upon a time. But it does look like Axe here. You got the red and silver attack. Got that bright red tongue sticking out. You guys know I'm not a huge fan of the tongue out in my figures, but there's certain characters, Hawk from the Legion of Doom, Demolition, makes a lot of sense for me, and there's a few others too. I would also like other head sculpts, but not going to have multiple heads with something like this, but this does work for Demolition Axe, looking very good. 2 Fists of Fury on Axe. You know those punches. They're coming in bunches in rapid succession as well. He does got his straps over the top, looking good, looking like he's out of Todd's Dungeon. We've went over that before. Got the studs on the trunks as well, black knee pads, black boots on here. No labeling on the bottom of the feet. I'm a little surprised by that. I figured it would have said Collect Major or something. It's all about branding at the end of the day. You got a brand, so if somebody finds this, oh yeah, Collect Major, I'm going to go to their website. The rest is history, but it does look really good. I always talk about, would this be great when I was a kid playing with my LJNs? Oh baby, this is amazing. Amazing to look at here. I would love playing with this figure. And somebody in my comments, I think it was the Toony one, that said, if you were a kid in the 80s, you would have never played with LJNs. It was only the kids that were in the 70s. And I'm just like, this guy's on another planet there. So I don't know what's going on with that, but this does look really, really good. I do like this Axe. Beautiful. If I was playing as a little kid down on the carpet, oh baby, this would be a great playability featured figure. Looking very good. Now, no articulation here. I don't know if I need to say it, but I did. So there it is. Axe looking awesome. And how about Smash? Is he going to look equally as awesome? We're going to find out. He's giving you the what you gonna do, brother, is almost what it looks like right there. It looks like Donald Sutherland from Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Kind of that thing going on. Of course, you know me, one class away from a minor in film. I'm going to drop all those movie references, Todd McFarlane. You know me. Big rubber guys up top. Once again, this is not a toy. Don't get confused with that. Smash down here, big rubber guys. All the hits being played. Same backing that we saw with Axe. Got to get the most out of your molds. Got to get the most out of your packaging as well, as we know. We're going to pull Smash out. And I always say it in the reviews, or I've said it recently, I always figured Axe was the leader of Demolition. Maybe it's just because he was older, I don't know, but I always figured Axe was the leader of Demolition, not Smash, for me personally. For me personally, maybe you. Shout it out in the comments down below what you think. I'm just going to put this helmet right here on Axe for now. A little snug, pretty good. Not falling off or anything there. I like what I see, but now we're diving into Smash, and oh, baby. He would have maybe been an Intercontinental Champion. He might have transcended the tag team action in my childhood fig fed up to the Intercontinental level. I always preferred Smash, a little bit more personality than Axe. Maybe more relatable for me, I don't know. But this looks amazing. I love the looks of this one. He's ready to go with punches. It reminds you of Hulk Hogan Part 2, be it white shirt, red shirt, whatever you like from the LJN days. Just one of the greatest playability figures of all time in the LJN universe. Love the looks of this one here, though. Got the classic paint here in the red and white. Got the mustache going on. You got the tongue sticking out once again. When I was a kid playing with my Hasbros, he'd always get busted open. I always pretended this was blood coming out of his forehead. Looking awesome right there, though. Love the black wrist tape on here. Got the tattoo, the classic Smash tattoo, which gave away that he was the Repo Man to little Kyle once upon a time. I said, I know that tattoo. Wait a minute here. You got the studs all over the body, once again in the trunks and on the straps, looking good. Black knee pads, black boots, but an extra attention to detail here for Smash. You got that sleeve under there in blue. Nice extra attention to detail there. I'm here for that. And then, of course, you do got the mask. Fits right over the top. Man, how cool is that? I'm not sure how I want to display these guys. Do I want to display them with mask on or mask off? Boy, I don't know. That's a pick'em is what that is. A little tight there on the face. I do worry about if you put this on and off multiple times and you're not easy and gentle with it, you could rub some of that paint off. I'm not sure, and I don't want to find out, but I'd hate to have that end of the white nose ripped off or something like that. But we do got the options here. Smash, a fabulous, fabulous figure. And now we move on. We move our attention over here. Uh-oh, will he stand? Oh, you don't want to stand. Maybe he'll stand better over here next to his buddy Axe. Maybe. We're going to lump them together, maybe. There we go. They seem to stand okay. I think my table's a little uneven right here. But now we're going to go to the Robin Hood soundtrack. We're going to go to the summer of '69. And yes, Todd McFarlane, I was going to get to it. We're going to Bryan Adams, who did write the song War Machine. And a lot of people know the song War Machine from Kiss, of course, as it was also kind of redone as Taz's theme song in ECW, or better watch out, because you're a war machine, but it is Bryan Adams right here, straight out of Canada, straight into our hearts like it was the summer of '69. We love it all day long. But we got Axe, we got Smash, we got Bryan Adams, obviously better known as Crush in this instance here. When I hear Bryan Adams, I think of the singer. Not a Bryan Adams fan. You know that Robin Hood soundtrack song? I don't even remember what the song was called. It was the worst song ever, and it was on MTV every other song back in the day. I remember when I was a kid, in elementary school summers, it would be on all the time, and it was an immediate channel changer for me. Oh, I hated that song. I still hate it. I get PTSD when I hear it. Same thing with Bryan Adams' name, but after Bryan Adams, a musician, I think of Bryan Adams of his time in the NWO and stuff like that is what I think of. But I'm guessing it's legalities why we don't have Crush on here. I'm not exactly sure the reason why. Why didn't we list this as Barry Darsow and Bill Eddy? I don't know why they did that. It makes it feel a little bit strange in the packaging department. But at the end of the day, I think it comes down to this legal stuff, and I would rather have it say Bryan Adams than not get Crush at all, is what it is right there. But you got Crush in the packaging, looking all like a Crush can look. Same background on the back. And I remember as a kid being excited, but also feeling a little bit disappointed at the same time about Demolition adding a member. It definitely took away a little bit from the magic and the pizzazz of the Demolition team, but at the same time, it was fresh, it was new, it was something different. We'll never forget, of course, them teaming up with Mr. Perfect at Survivor Series once upon a time. So there was some great memories of the time with Crush, but at the same time, too, it just felt like people were moving on, maybe. And it was a lot of it had to do with probably the Legion of Doom, Road Warriors coming to the WWF at the time, taking a lot of thunder away from Demolition. I know a lot of people thought of Demolition as Road Warrior copycats. I was never in that camp. They felt like they were different at the same time, but similar because they got face paint and some spikes. I don't know. We do get the helmet once again. We've seen it before. We'll see it again as we know. And we get Crush here, and Crush is firing up right here. He's just firing up. He's busting it back. He's ready to go. He's ready to take on all comers. Not a bad figure either. I think this would be pretty good playability-wise as a little kid. All three of these guys would be hot players in my childhood fig fed. There's no doubt about it. Got that iconic Bryan Adams Crush, whatever you want to call him. Waterfall, Kentucky waterfall, that is. Mullet, looking very, very nice. Got the big red tongue once again. Everybody's got their tongue out. They're tonguing everybody. They're licking more people than the Bushwhackers back in the day. Got the face paint going on for Crush. And never forget getting that Hasbro Crush was pretty fun as a kid too. The old days of the Hasbro days, as we know. Two Fists of Fury, all three of these guys throwing fists left and right. They are brawlers, as we know. You got the same kind of trunks, straps going on, black knee pads, black boots. A lot of uniformity here. Obviously, it is a team Demolition, led by Master Fuji at the beginning and at the end. And we'll never forget Jack Tunney making that announcement. Ooh, President Jack Tunney saying Demolition will never be able to be a threesome ever again. And I don't know about you, Todd. I enjoy a good threesome from time to time. Not with you, but others, as we know. But Crush, looking pretty good here. The third man in Demolition, and a lot of people say, hey, that's when Demolition did jump the shark. I don't know. There's pros and cons to that like everything else. But I do like this Bryan Adams Crush figure. I think this is the only chance we're ever going to have a chance to really get this. I don't know. I guess Mattel could come to the party with this in the future. And I honestly wouldn't be shocked to see Mattel make LJN Demolition figures. And they'll probably give Axe the same old stuff, and they'll give it to Smash as well. They're going to redo what Latoony just recently redid. Is what it is. But we got Demolition here. Axe, Smash, and Crush. I'm going to pull that helmet off. Jeez, there we go. Very tight. Once again, I do worry about paint rub with those helmets a little bit tighter than I would like them to be. But Axe, Smash, and Crush looking very good. Bryan Adams, whatever you want to say, looking very good here. But let's compare them to some prior versions. Now, we did get the first Axe and Smash from a Collect Major once upon a time. Definitely not as nice as these. There's no doubt about it. Constant learning, constant improvement right here. This is what we see. The definition of that. A couple of years difference here. See what they've done. Now, I was wondering, are these the same? These are far from the same mass. Way better detail on these new masks. Just night and day. Really, you'd almost think these aren't even from the same toy line. Well, they do fit on there, though. So I guess if you wanted to, for whatever reason, put them on the other ones, you could. But it does not even feel like it's from the same universe here with these Demolition figures. I got to imagine the Collect Major guys see the same improvements between these. Looking rough. And one thing I absolutely hate about these is their feet. They just do not stand for anything. for anything or anyone either. And we did get the variant editions. I do keep the variant editions with their masks on. This is the red face versions, of course, as we can see here. So we got a couple of different versions from Collect Major in the past. Now we got the Primo versions, and we're never going to get another version. This is it. And I would say they went pretty well on the way out. Now we do got the original Axe figure from LJN Once Upon a Time, if you want to compare that a little bit. There we go. And then just recently we unboxed these on the channel. It's the Latuni versions here. I don't hate these Latuni versions. The only thing I don't like about this Axe is that he's in the old school Axe position. He should have gave him a different position, but you could say that for a lot of the stuff. The Macho Man, Randy Savage, other things over there at Latuni, but we're seeing the same things from Mattel, re-releasing the Hogan, the Warrior, the Bundy. I'm cool with more figures. I just want different poses for them. I'm a broken record, I know. But I think it would be a lot funner figures if they got new poses like we see right here with this Demolition. So thankfully they just didn't say, hey, let's remake these in this position. Let's do something different. And that's what they did here today with this version of Demolition. Gotta say, some of the best big rubber guy style figures of the year right here with Demolition. Iconic looks, iconic poses. I'm here for that. You can't get much better than this. There's some tweaks to be made. I think some of the packaging, the protective of the packaging with the new factory. But as we say on the channel all the time, all good companies, be it toy companies or any others, constant learning, constant understanding, making it happen, making a difference as we go. And I think that's what Collect Major has been doing, at least right here. So we'll see what happens next. We got more figures to come here. We got new pre-orders coming in January from the Collect Major team. We'll stay tuned to see what those are going to be here very, very soon. So there it is, Demolition, once again from the Big Rubber Guys line. What's your thoughts on these? Pickups, passes, long game, no game, not so sure game? Let me know in the comments down below. You made it this far, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell as we got videos every single day. And then some. We got even more content for you on Patreon, YouTube channel memberships, your best way to support the channel. Sir Paul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and TheKylePetersonShow at gmail.com, which is also the name of my podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show, available each and every Tuesday wherever podcasts are found, with video cast on YouTube. So for Demolition and Brian Adams, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?